Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is February's garden tour. Today's February 28th and the garden's slowly starting to wake up now. And I'm sorry if I sound it's a bit off today. I've been ill for the last couple of weeks and my voice is a little bit gone. So yeah, I might keep breaking up a little bit. I've moved some of these palms just to get some air because these were in the greenhouse. They're just getting a little bit of air and light. Just out of the greenhouse, it's getting a bit busy now. You've seen these before, Princess hybrids and a Trachycarpus nova on end. She's ready for a pot on and a little bit of a feed. This area, not looking too different from before. I don't think there's anything else. Waking up here, we've got some canners that are not ready to pop up yet. It's still a bit early for them. I think the hostas are just about, there we go, just about waking up. Under all that manure I'm sure they'll be waking up under there. Round here then, I don't know if I've ever showed this on film before. We've got polyphyllum. It was sold to me as delevii, but I'm not sure that is what it is. In a couple of weeks when that's opened up, I'll show it you, see what you guys think. Some nice hellebores here, beautiful little purple flowers. This was only added last year as a small little plant, £2 I think it cost me. Sizing up nicely now, next year even bigger than that. Steps are still not in. I will get round to doing it, and then that's going to free up this space here. Now, I have bought a new Trachycarpus wagnerianus. That may potentially go in this gap here. I think it'll be a nice plant to just get in there. But I'm not 100%. We'll see what the space looks like once the steps are gone. And I've moved them into it. You can just see it in the background there. We'll take a look at it in a sec. This cover's going to be coming off sometime in March, I think. The majority of the frosts are going to have gone now, and if we do get a frost, they're not going to be too heavy. You know, we're getting nice long daylight hours now. They'll soon temperatures will soon warm up, so I'm not too worried about this now. It's done its job over winter. It's been relatively mild winter. We've had a few cold temperatures, but there wasn't too long lasting. So my Trachycarpus princeps come for a winter, looking like it's come for a winter perfectly fine. I've lost one of these before, so that's the reason I put this overhead cover on. So then this is the new waggy that we've bought, Trachycarpus wagnerianus. This is, I am contemplating having it in this corner. Ignore the sheet in there, that's off the garage roof. That's just a sheet that needs sorting out. But yeah, in this spot, I think it looks quite nice actually there. Because what I have been doing this week during the night is cutting back this ivy. You see it's opened up quite a substantial area. It was quite deep, that was. And what looked to be tucked up against the fence, these plants, they're now a good couple of foot away from the fence line. So it's going to give me some good room to plant behind. If I get in here, step in, you can see just how much. Still got to cut all the tops off it yet. You can just see these cord lines that are growing out towards the light here. I've now got a little bit of room to straighten up because they were really starting to lean. This Fatsia and this Princeps cross wagnerianus, this was almost buried under the ivy. So these have now got some room to spread. Yeah, so that took a bit of work to chop that down and get rid. But I think it's going to open that up. It's going to open that up nicely there. Once the ivy starts to grow again and greens that fence back up, I think that'll look quite nice. I've been meaning to do that job for a little while now, but every year I seem to put it off. Finally got around to doing it. So this Tetrapanax here, this was the one that seemed to be doing the best through the early stages of winter. It was keeping its leaves. When the others lost them all. But it certainly looks like it's lost the growing tip. It looks like it's all shriveled up. I'm sure you can tell this. But that'll shoot. I'm sure that'll shoot again from lower down. No worries about that really. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with this Mahonias, the giant red hot poker. I thought it was Northey Eye, but Nick Musa reckons it might be a sport of Northey Eye, but not the pure one. It's still a big, nice plant. I've cut a lot of leaves off this now, though. You can just see how wide. Again, a good metre and a half long. These leaves, they're massive. Looks a bit untidy come the end of winter. Yeah, come the end of winter light. So you just chop it back a bit, and you can still see there's some long ones left on. I've been a bit lazy and not cut them all. But this area is due for a bit of a tidy up, really. Sort out the planting. There's not too much going on in this, so plenty of planting opportunity in there. As you can see, I've still not moved the Persicaria, and even though it's just been sat like this for probably a month, it's starting to grow. These really do want to grow. It's another reason I've not planted it, because I'm not sure that I want to keep so much of it. And as soon as I put it in the ground, if I then want to move it, if I leave any rooting, it will just start to go again. So it's a nice filler plant. I'm not sure I want it in this year, we'll see. I've got some in the garden, but like I said, I don't think I want it in too many places. Here we go then, look. You can just see, if I get back into this area, you can see even the trachea were growing. It's all growing up to one side. It's got a good bit of room there now. They'll be able to drop and carry on growing up nice and straight. It might have wanted to grow towards the sun. I don't know, chop this ivy down. I don't think it's really giving a true sense of scale of how wide this ivy was. So it's a job well done, that. Well, it's only half done, but it started at least. That should spur me on to do some more. The never-ending sea of my bluebells that keep coming through. I never planted these and they seem to spread year on year. So come next video, these should look beautiful. They'll all be out. And I think just down here, yeah, you can see here, the hemorrhacalis just coming through, the daylilies. Nice popper colour late in summer. Can't wait for them to get up. The euphorbia are also getting more room. And then I've started trying to get rid of this tree stump. You see it's pretty rotten. The middle's quite solid, so when the big trees come down, I think I'm going to see if the guys will just chop this down for me. Just so it's not a bit of an eyesore there. The euphorbia will just spread and fill that gap when that's chopped to the floor. And there's plenty of hostas and ferns. And definitely hostas planted around here. I thought there was a fern, but might have just buried it in all the rubble. This little trachea, growing quite nicely now. This has been in a few years, quite slow to get going, but it's moving now. Xanthodecia Hercules here. No signs of life yet on this. I'm sure this will shoot from somewhere. Whether it carries on from the top or sends up another shoot, I'm sure that'll be absolutely fine. Not worried about that one. So these grasses then, just put out some pots. These are just the division I've made. I split up one of these Carex Everlimes. Got a few of them in the garden, so I had a large one. Just split it, I think I split it into 5 plants to carry on dotting around the garden. Each one fills a 2-litre pot. So it's well worth splitting and dividing them every couple of years. Some nice free plants. and the rest of this here is kind of just out to get a bit of sunshine and fill this border until things start popping up. We've got Schefflera, rhododendrofolia. I think it might have been here in the last video, to be honest. We've got Schefflera, Cordline Superstar. This is from a large plant I had the other year that spear pulled and then eventually rotted away, but then grew from the base. 2 pups, I split them, and this one's the best of the 2. Lovely wide glossy leaves on this, but does seem to be a little bit tender, so I'm going to look after this one, keep it in a pot, keep it growing. Just took a bit of time to get back to even this size, so I don't know if I've neglected it or whether it's just been a bit slow to get going, but it's on its way now, and hopefully this year I'll put a bit of size and I'll repot that, I think. Freshen soil up, feed it a little bit, should crack on. And then same with the standard cordline behind it. That was one that, it was part of a larger clump, and for some reason that stem was always really it was rocking in its spot. So I've dug it up, potted it into that pot. I think it's fully rooted in there now and it looks nice and healthy. So I'm not sure whether I'll find a spot for that in the garden or whether I'll move it on. I probably will plant it, I can't imagine moving it on. They're not worth selling, are they? Or even giving away, they're so cheap to buy. The miscanthus, I think I've said before, I'm not going to cut that back this year. Just going to leave them stems, and the green ones, the new shoots can come up and grow through. Yeah, then this has been featured in my latest video. This is Mahonia narihira, featured in my latest video about 3 soft leaf Mahonias. So if you want to watch that, I'll leave a link in the description below. But it's a beautiful plant, this. Really nice, wide, glossy leaves. Again, this is probably not where it's going to stay. I've not really spent too much time in the garden, so these plants are just here, just so I can see them from the window. But this is definitely going to get a nice spot in the garden, I think, this one. It's looking like the Tetrapanax are all just starting to come into growth again. There's that one, another one there coming into growth, and then I think even the main plant is just about, if we can zoom in, don't look as green this, but yeah, it's just coming into growth, which is nice because, as you remember, we lost it last year. So this growth here, these 2 shoots are what came out last year. You can see it's just starting to go woody up, the new growth, so these should now go woody this year. To be honest, that didn't grow as much as I expected last year, so I'm gonna feed this well this year and hopefully get it up and around. I'd like it around the summer house height ideally, so another couple of foot on the stem would be ideal this year, because then I'm going to be able to look up. Beautiful blue skies today, look. So I'll be able to look up into this area here when it's the summer months, walking under a nice canopy of the Tetrapanax leaves. Either this year or definitely next year, hopefully. The trees I've finally set a date for, but it's not for another couple of weeks. It's right at the end of March, so they may still actually be standing in the March video. We'll see. I might leave it till right after. Hopefully get some footage of those coming down. I'm pretty happy. Cordline Charlie boy seems to pretty much have taken winter, not much damage. I can see a little bit, if I zoom in here, you can just see a little bit of spotting. Little bit of spotting on the leaves, but yeah, overall it's looking fantastic. Here's another large clump of that grass that could be divided, but I'm not going to bother in this area. I'm not going to disturb any of the roots of these plants, especially around so close to the cord lines. So I'm just going to leave that one. Looks nice. I have also got more grasses in here which will start to grow soon. These ones, Japanese forest grass, 3 of 1, 2, and then a third one just here. Want chopping back. I've got a lot to do really in the garden this week, and I'm going to hope to get a bit of time tomorrow. Cut all these things back, carry on mulching everything, like underwear. I've cut all the ivy back. Just get some jobs done. I say I've not spent a lot of time out here. You can see Alstroemeria Indian summer growing. It's coming through nice. There's the flowers. Beautiful plant that. Flowers all summer long. Well worth growing if you can get hold of it. I know they always say it's one of the most popular, but around me you don't tend to see them in too many garden centres. But if you can get hold of it, I'd definitely grow that one. Torbay Dazzler, this one. Again, doesn't look to have took any damage. I really like this little area of planting here. Just this snapshot here. I think the two different colour cord lines, the grass and the palm above. I think it's a great combo. And then we're going to have the Schefflera, hopefully put some size on this year. With the Mahonia volcano just behind it. This area is going to be really nice. And then in front, this bare space here is where we tend to grow some colocasia. Under there's a colocasia metallica. I usually leave one out and then take some of the pups off it. I'm not 100% how this is looking. I don't even know if I've took the lid off before. It's looking, yeah, poke. Yeah, you see it's quite soft, but then I do hit some hard, so we'll see. We'll see what that's like. These ferns are going to get chopped back now, so all the new croziers can come out. I'll just smarten it up, because they've all, after the snow that was on them in January, just flattened them. They've never really looked great since, so I might as well just tidy them up now. See how many of the euphorbia that needs cutting back. Just get it cut back and then all the fresh new growth can come through. Oh, some tulips down here as well. Forgot these were in this area. So they'll be flowering before long. I forgot I'd put them in that area. And it looks like they're spread over to the euphorbia. So they'll be nice. Not be long before they're flowering. I'm not sure if I'd done this before the last video, but I've chopped off all the small, really tatty brown fronds of this waggy that spear pulled first year. But these are looking much healthier now. Really short, thick fronds on this. And really strong. You can see they're only little to your hand. Yeah, but this is now starting to throw out multiple fronds at once, so there's a couple of spears in there. So I'm hoping this year actually grows well. It's got a decent sized trunk on it for what the top looks like, but the planting around it kind of hides it. This hellebore looks fantastic in flower. No idea which one this one is, but I bought it for this wonderful foliage with a veining through the leaves. Not chose the best leaf there ever. It has this like electric lime green flowing through the centre of the leaf. So over the leaf that. And then this time of year, explosion of flowers. But then it looks great all year round after that one, so they've gone over. And this is the area back where we started, but it's going to get planted up shortly. Might as well get this Schefflera in the ground soon, because I think I've decided that is where this one's going to go. And then might as well just plant everything around this, get them in the ground now. I've sat with these for a while. I'm quite happy with them. I will miss having the larger Beauties here, because it gave me a bit of height in this space, but the Schefflera will soon fill it. And I might put some canners in just for an instant bit of height this year, just while everything else gets established and grows. My Musa basjoos, not checked on them yet this year. We're going to take them off again in March. I say the worst of the weather's just about past now. I think I'll also take this canopy off the Beauties odorata. We'll walk around and have a look at that now. It's looking great. Beautiful feather palm. It's going to look all the better when this covers back off it. It's done its job now. It kept all the frost and mainly the snow off it as well. I said we might get some more frost, but they're not going to be too lasting, so I'm quite happy just to remove that. And if I need to, I can throw a fleece bag over it. I've got a bag that actually went over the whole structure, so it's no problem to throw a bag over this if it needs it the odd night. Down here then, I think I've got Petasites. I can't remember which one, but it's popping up. I only planted this last year. That was a tiny little thing. There, it's coming up here into the heuchera, just in there if you can see. And then all the way over here is popping up. So I think this, I might end up trying to remove this because it's going to get way too big for what is very narrow. It's just because the path's not very wide here, as I just think this is going to fill this area way too much. So I need to find another damp little spot for this, because these leaves do get big. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, but I'm sure that's what I bought it as. There will be a label in here somewhere, but it'll be under all this mulch. I'm sure it'll be uncovered at some point in the year. No sign of these canners yet, but that's to be expected. Still too early. And I'll probably cut these back a little bit more as well now, just to tidy the garden up. Because as these days get lighter, I'm going to be spending more time out here. So in the winter months, I don't mind the garden being a bit messy, but you do want to tidy it up a little bit when you start spending time out here. This don't bother me too much, but I'll probably the same again. Take these off. This one's a big lump of kind of Musa foliage, which I'm going to divide anyway before it gets into growth. Camrock's volcano. This is looking good now. This was another palm that did spear pull its first year, and this is some of the damage from that first year. But now it's got its roots down. Should be well established in there now. A lot of this is looking pretty pristine in there now. So I think some of these old leaves, these will be took off now. Just smarten it up. This is looking great. Fills this area quite nice. Before long, all this border, all the way up here. In fact, you can just see them starting to pop up here. Got a long line of hostas. That one's had its space invaded by this Tetrapanax though. There's not a lot I can do with. I'm not going to be digging that one up because I'll be digging the Tetrapanax up. So that'll just keep getting bigger and bigger. Whereas some of these other clumps down here, because they do go, you can see these little stems, these are from last year's. They go all the way around this edge, but I can divide some of these if I want to spread them around the garden. It's just a problem. I probably planted the wrong hostas in this area. Got a bit too much white on them, so the sun does bleach them. So they don't look the best come midsummer, even definitely into late summer they don't look the best. They get way too much sun. There's just not enough here to protect them. It's so open in this area. While we're over here, we might as well take a look at this tree fern. So these brown fronds, these are from 2 years ago. They've really suffered this winter. I said they're 2 years old now. Last year's have still got a bit of brown on them. Oh, sorry, a little bit of green on them. So they're going to stay this year, I think. So there's still plenty of green on these. So until they're basically looking like these, they can stay for me. I'm not too bothered about having it just each year's fronds. I quite like having multiple years on. It's a shame there's nothing bigger and above here, just to try and give me that overhead cover to keep them pristine year on year. I am quite surprised this one's taken as much damage as it has, because it's smaller. It's got a lot more protection in this area. It's below the fence line that them fronds protect. You can see where they were protecting just a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of sporadic where the damage is. with this one, because it is at this level, and so that I can see the underplanting, I think I probably will remove these and see next year's croziers, well, this year's croziers, sorry. Yeah, I can't quite see under all the leaf litter, but I'm not going to disturb that. I think the little bit of green there is probably a knuckle. But we aren't touching that. I can't actually tell you. I would presume so, though. Here we've got me Schefflera delavei. Beautiful plant, this. I think I mentioned it last video. I've not found a permanent spot for this yet. I want it to have a really good spot, so it may even end up in a pot again this year. Pot it up if it needs it, and just grow it on a little bit bigger, just until I find the right spot. Because I don't want to plant it and then want to move it, so I'm quite alright with keeping it in a pot this year, and it can be moved around and see where it likes it best. Some more of these beautiful hellebores. More large ferns here. These are still looking, especially on camera, still look nice and green. But just to smarten them up, probably before next video, these will all be chopped back, so this year's can emerge no problem and be the star of the show. We'll see what happens with this fatsia, where it's gonna sprout from to grow, because as you can see, took a bit of damage at the top. Nice and black. But that'll sprout from somewhere. It's a lovely plant, that. It definitely is one of my favourites. Look at them leaves. Beautiful. For this area, I have actually, or somewhere in the garden, I have bought 2 new tree ferns. Another 2-footer, which is a 2-footer. That's a 2-footer. And I've got a 3-footer coming as well. So what I'm potentially thinking is, let's get around here. I'm thinking in this area here, I may remove this Trachycarpus Kindler Hill and just plant the tree fern around about here where this brunner is, or maybe just between the two. So as you stand back here, there'll be a 3-footer in here, and it might look quite cramped. I just think there's going to be three different tree ferns of different heights in this area. I think that's going to work really well. I'll find a new spot for that Kindler Hill, which I'm thinking, I know it's only little at the minute, but remove this pendula grass, this Carex pendula this is. Remove this, because it does self-seed everywhere if you allow it to. I don't even think I planted this here. So if I remove this and plant a palm here, when I eventually get round to bringing the path from here round up through there, I'm gonna have a palm going up here nicely, walking under the fronds of the tree fern. So he's thinking ahead. I know it's not going to look much to start with, but it'll not take too long to get going. I'll knock it back a little bit by removing it and replanting it there, but I think it'll be worth it. Like I say, the new 3-foot tree fern in here. So let me know what you think. If you've got any other ideas where you think plant the tree fern. And then obviously I've got another 2-foot one coming. And this is a nice shady spot because it's shaded out by the garage there. I would kind of like it down here, but there's not a lot of room in here for the path, and then a short 2-foot tree fern. Once its fronds have emerged, it might be a bit too tight there. So unless I had it, yeah, this area is a big mess. But if I had it somewhere just over the pond, it might still get too much sun there. But I suppose it's no more sun than what I've got with these here. Surprising the growth in just a couple of years. As you can see, this was the first year I got it. I think it was 2021 maybe. 2021 or maybe 22, I'm not sure. And then there's a good couple inches on that. Good bit of growth, and that's in full sun. I give it plenty of water. It is on a drip irrigation. It just goes up and sprays. See, it just sprays into the crown. Wants a bit of water today because it's been a lovely. You can see just how nice it is today. It's a beautiful day. So after this video I'll give this a good watering. I don't tend to water it too much in winter. I tend to be wet enough. But yeah, it is a bit dry today after a nice sunny day. You can see it just this side of the trunk gets baked, which is the reason why I've got this loquat tree here. As you can see, this loquat will just grow up here if I do decide to keep it here. That is, grow up. I'll keep it to, I don't know, I might like even get as high as maybe 9 to 10 foot in this area and just keep it at that. And it should hopefully just shade out the tree, for at least shade out the trunk. We'll see. Even at 7 foot, it'll start to shade out this trunk. Keep it that bit more damp in the summer months. Because at the minute, it is dry every day. And even with the irrigation, I do water it as well. This video is getting a bit long now, so we'll wrap it up shortly. Again, beautiful Schefflera Taiwaniana, and the bamboo which will start to shoot soon. There is this one here. I presume that's from last year. I don't remember. I'll have to look back at the last video and see if I can see if this shoot had come up. You see, this one's come up. Starting to get some nice sized canes on this now. These don't get massive, but like comb sizes. But yeah, they're good for. They're probably about. It's ready for maxing out. See if you can see behind my hand. They're not massive, but it's about all you're going to get out of them. But fantastic evergreen. Like that. Greenhouse is ready for a clean, ready for all the spring planting. There's the jabutia in there. Area spare for that one is. So that'll be coming out shortly. As always, got to show the Mahonia soft caress. I love this plant. Pick them up from anywhere really now. Any garden centre nursery has these. Quite pricey even for a 2 litre pot. Here's a 2 litre pot in comparison. It's only little. That might be anywhere £15 to £20 for a small plant like that. But in no time at all, gets to this size and it'll carry on going up to a good 1.5 metres. I have actually seen them bigger than that. So yeah, this could fill this space quite nicely this year. See how it grows. Put that one back. So I'd like to just give a shout out to what I think is my youngest viewer. That's Mercia. She keeps asking me for a shout out and I keep forgetting. So I was told I need a notepad. So I said I'd give her a shout out on my new garden tour video. So Mercia, this one's for you. I hope you enjoy the February tour and hopefully you can get your dad into gardening. I'm more than happy to supply him a few plants to get him into gardening. I'm sure you can convince him, Mercia. That's it everybody. Thank you all for watching. See you on the next one.